saving it, bro. Maybe it's the stars have to align, the moon has to be in the right place. I have to wake up on the right time.
अच्छा bro, हमारे तो align हो कुछ भी हो, we still can't dunk, man. हमारे लिए तो फिर भी मुश्किल है.
We'll be bas off a log here and there, bro.
That's still a poster waiting to happen if you can like make it happen in the game. That's
poster रखेगा
Assalamualaikum ladies and gents, welcome to League Report, where we give you the ins and outs of the league. I have with me the very special Zubair Qureshi, all the way from Toronto, Canada. We're going to be hosting this show together and providing you guys the highlights and breaking down the games of the league season 3, hopefully. So, Zubair bhai, kya aapka khayal hai, kaisa jayega hamare game?
It's going to be fantastic. Well, one thing I wanted to touch on quite quickly was that how unique League of Basketball is. Coming from Toronto and coming from overseas, being attached to basketball for a long time. I've never seen a place where a court is soaking wet, brother, and they'll still play their All-Star game, right? And I mentioned to a few guys that it means a lot to me to see the situations and the difficult route and the obstacles our players have to face just to get to the court, right? So that shows the level of passion, it shows the level of love for basketball that you don't tend to see in places around the world, because now we're blessed with world-class facilities everywhere and all this shine. But we have a broad group of individuals of all age groups, of all different types of guys playing this league, having a good time. And the level of basketball is rising too. And the key thing is, coming from Toronto, being a youth basketball coaching at a place called Zor Sports Academy, is that I know that this league is drawing interest from the youth in Karachi, which we have millions.
Definitely.
And we can definitely get some basketball players coming out of here, man. We already got some good young guys in the league.
100%. 100%.
Wish we were still young guys.
Agreed, man. You're still young, bro.
Thank you.
Achha, we'll start with Hasan's season. Hasan had a breakout season. He had a 50 piece. He led the league in scoring. He had the highest rebounds. I think blocks, maybe he was second or something. So, what do you think? Was this a fluke or?
So I've watched a lot of Hasan's game on stream, as we have full live streams of every game, which is very unique, because I'll tell you, a lot of leagues say, hey, we'll give you a full stream of game. They don't post it nowhere. We post it, right? So watching Hasan play, I don't think it was a fluke, but here's what happens when now people know about you. You've got a target on your back.
Yeah.
People will game plan for you. People will treat you differently. The moment you walk onto the court, there's a different vibe. So if he had surprised anybody with a few performances, I still think the kid is going to have the stats and he's going to be a regular performer, right? He's just going to experience now what it is to have a double team on you all the time, right? What it is to maybe get fouled a little harder driving to the basket. Hey, these little things happen now. Nobody, he had a 50 piece, right? Nobody wants to get 50 pieced again, right? Holding that Wilt Chamberlain picture, right? You don't want to be on the other side receiving that. So Hasan, the thing is with his game, it's clean, right? He keeps it simple. Most of his baskets are very high efficiency baskets.
To the rim, it's like.
And some people will look at it though. He had his performances on lesser opponents. You got to put the ball in the net, brother. All right. One thing that bothers me with that is when you score on lesser opponents. Yes, it's an argument. But in any game, golf, cricket, basketball, if you're putting runs on the board, or you're making birdies on a shorter course, or you're putting buckets on anybody, hey, it's still doing it.
It's stamina, because you're consuming stamina. It's not like if it was that easy, anybody would have done it.
Easier said than done.
Everyone had the same opponents, and everyone could have done it. What I will say about Hasan is, it's definitely not a fluke, but it is sort of skewed, because he had a lot of easy games, Peach May. But he has, I think the semi-final game showed us a lot, because he was scoring pretty easily on Zakaria and Oman and Bakhtiar. He had not easily, but it was relatively easy. I think his weaknesses have shown. He's surprisingly, he's a little. He gets a little worried when there's a crowd, like there's 2 people, 3 people around him, not even on him, like around him.
That's a good point.
He has a hard time.
He's going to have to deal with that more now, right?
Yeah,
so his weakness is going to get addressed.
Definitely. Acha, Zubair, who do you think was the most improved player last season?
So my candidate for most improved is a kid named Zayn Ali off of 23 SB. Known this kid for now going on the second year, and I've been had firsthand involvement in his improvement in his growth. Communicate a lot with the guy. The beauty is he's 20 years old, right? So sky's the limit if we're talking about most improved right now. He can keep trending for most improved for a while, right? Now, as far as why I consider him most improved, he improved all across the board. It's not like the kid just fixed one thing. He hit a couple big shots in games. Zayn couldn't, hit one in the ocean last year, right? And now he hit a couple crucial shots. He even gave you the bow slam. I don't think you should be doing that because that's for the gunners. You got to shoot better than 25% from three to be doing that. But defensively, we already knew what he was. Now here's what changed. Now he's not fouling guys. Now he's not having 4 fouls and then the performance defensively. He's locking up people on a full court press. That's a new thing. He wasn't in shape to do that last year. So with Zayn, it was improvement across the board and then performance in the big games. He didn't have meaningless performances. He brought it in games we needed it. Some games he had 8.6 rebounds, maybe a couple steals. But you know what? Those 8.6 rebounds, they came at money time when the team needed it.
When they were down.
Right? So with Zayn, it's improvements across the board and a drastic change from what we saw from him in season 1 when he was playing for. Who was he playing for in season 1 again?
They had another. They had Amar with his brothers. But he has improved. One thing you didn't touch on was I think his assists. He's not some he's not like a bonehead player. Like he knows where to pass. He doesn't just pass it to the open guy. He makes reads. He passed to Aram a lot inside the paint on cuts and to Umar as well. He does the pick and roll and stuff. But he's, I would say, the one side of him that's undershadowed is because he's running fast breaks and stuff. The people don't really see the assist part because young players usually they don't have the IQ, and I respect that from him. He has the IQ and he listens because he is very obedient type. वो आके पूछता है आपसे कि क्या काम करूँ this time. I'm sure he's asked you a lot and stuff. So, but I would also that he is also a strong candidate. But I would say that Maz Zubair improved a lot because he was almost the scoring leader this year. He had a lot of high performance games, but because if you see his team, his team is very he wasn't that good. So if he was in a better system, maybe 23rd or bounce maybe or whatever, he would have averaged higher. I think he has the right sort of mindset. He's a young kid. He can shoot the ball and he has a lot of he's a big kid because he's small but he's a little chubby, So he has
nicer ways of saying
that. I mean, it is what it is.
He's
sturdy. You can say he's sturdy. He's
solid.
For a guard, he's pretty strong.
So what I like about Maz's game is that he uses angles, right? So smaller player, you're just gonna have a tougher time to out jump everybody or outrun everybody. And Maz is very good at using the angle and putting the ball out and away from the defender. Exactly. So he confuses you with that. And I agree with the point you made that in any player in a different situation can either thrive or fall off the ladder. So he had a difficult situation with his team. What I admire is that he still brought it every game. He brought it for a lot of the game. He had some lopsided games. He still put on his performance. He did his job. And I truly believe if you are doing your job, and even if your team is catching L's, you got to be somewhat proud of yourself and realize, hey man, you can't win it with just one guy. So he is definitely a worthy candidate with Zayn as well. That's a tough one to pick between. But I'm gonna pick Zayn.
Acha, Zubair, there's a few trades or rumors floating around the league. I'll give you some.
The trade block.
All right. We have some rumors floating around. So I think Osman Bashir from Bounce is going to Omega. And I've heard that Shamir, the big guy Shamir, is going to 23rd. What do you think these trades? What do you say?
My comment on the first trade would be that, tell me if I'm wrong, Usman has played with Omega, you said?
Yeah, he's playing with Omega now.
Okay, how long has he played with Bounce? Number of years?
All his life.
So, there might be something going on there, right? So Bounce has got to see that keep their chemistry and keep their composure. sometimes even when you lose a player like that, it can be your Draymond Green away. It can be your, behind the scenes leader. It could be your glue
I
guy.
think he is that guy.
So if he's going to a competitor, he's not going to a bottom feeder. He's going to one of the best teams in the league, right? So and he's probably going with something to prove too.
100%.
So he's going to be motivated. Now, a kid like Shamir this is really his first opportunity to really shine, right? He had probably a couple performances here and there, but I think with Shamir, again, being such a kid, sky's the limit. He just needs somebody to show him how to do it.
And 23rd has a lot of vets, so he's going to get a lot of...
23rd has a lot of old guys. Vets is a nice way to say it. We old, we need some young bucks to take this thing and keep it going. I feel you.
They have a lot of vets and they have a lot of insight with Zed, you, Shazan, Aram. These guys, they know.
We have teachers. So we have guys who love teaching the game.
Yes.
And then we have one thing that's the best, and you can relate to this because I view the same way. We have athletes. So one thing that bothers me, if you're a one sport athlete, right? I think one of the reasons why we thrive, we have mentalities from every game, right? And I've seen the other teams that thrive too. Each team has a really good cricketer. Each team has some guy who has another talent, and they bring that mentality into their game and impact it with their players, especially their young players. So if we bring in Shamir to our squad, we're gonna clone him into one of us. He's gonna think and walk and talk and joke like us. And same thing goes with the other trade, is he's gonna now incorporate some of that to his habits.
For those who don't know, Zubair plays golf a lot, and he's
There's
really
gonna be a lot of golf references, guys. Just bear with me, man. All right.
We should hit the course.
And we all know the GOAT played golf. So and still plays golf.
We need to have that court debate.
We don't need to have the debate. It's not a debate. But Joe, any other debate you want to have on best point guard and something, we can approach that.
I think there's still a debate. I mean, Mamba for life. So that's all for today, and hopefully tune into us. We'll be breaking down games, and we'll have footage, and we'll wrap it up with this. That Zubair bhi season 3 ke baad.
So guys, this league is booming. It's rising. We have a lot of great young talent. We got the veterans / old guys that we talked about. We have passionate people in this league, in administration, management. The players playing within it. Guaranteed you're gonna have, if you're interested in athletics in Karachi, basketball is a good sport to get into. A lot of our people are playing it across the world, and we got some of the best guys in Karachi I've met. I've been coming in and out of here forever, and these boys have really taken me in. And we hope we can do that for you guys, because we need the fans to grow this thing. So please definitely tune in, and we'll try our best to keep it entertaining. And me and Ans will do our thing. So thank you for your time, guys.
Signing off, boys.
Did LeBron play golf? Did the GOAT play golf? I don't know. LeBron.